products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Happy Tuesday, October 21st. We are exactly 10 days away from Halloween, which is one of my favorite things to celebrate during the year, and I'm ready with my costume. So if you're doing Halloween and it is on a Friday, October 31st, get ready for that. I have a packed show today. In the first half hour, I have open line, and the second segment, we're going to be talking a little bit about AI in business, and then we're going to be talking with the Breast Cancer Foundation in the last part of the show today. I first want to start off by giving my apologies to the Central Procurement Office, because on my last show, when I had a roundtable discussion on the procurement process, having different entrepreneurs repping 3 different industries, giving their experiences on what it's like to bid for government contracts, I mistakenly quoted something, which very much was a mistake, because I said there was 57 violations of the Procurement and Regulations Act within the Procurement Office, but that was across 20 public bodies. So that wasn't just in the Procurement Office, but that was 57 violations across 20 public bodies. Now, I know I did say that a couple times during the show, but I also attributed all 57 a couple of times just to the Central Procurement Office. So that was wrong. So Director Robert Tatum, I'm giving you that love today and I'm correcting my wrong. You are going to be on with me next Tuesday, the 28th of October, as we welcome back the Central Procurement Office to discuss what was said in the roundtable with the entrepreneurs and understand what the criticism the entrepreneurs have and what some of the solutions are. So we're welcoming the Central Procurement Office back next Tuesday. So you definitely want to tune into that, because, they're going to be answering your questions too. So to get on to today's open line segment. Well, the big focus today is on one of the biggest pieces of proposed legislation that we have seen in a while, and that is the Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Bill 2025, now out for public consultation. So we have heard from the NCFC government coming in from May. They jumped up on this right away and said we are addressing the immigration laws, and they also talked about, applying for permanent residency or Caymanian status and how the point system would be changed. But there's nothing in this Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Bill 2025 that I can see that addresses the point system whatsoever when you're applying for residency or status. So that is something interesting to note. Now, this draft bill represents what government calls a decisive turning point in national policy, with reforms aimed at aligning immigration with Caymanian priorities while still maintaining fairness, competitiveness, and social cohesion. And that is, my friends, I would say a little objective or subjective. Now, what does this really change? What does this bill really change? Well, there are 37 clauses that are aimed at addressing various immigration matters. There's the renaming of the act itself to the Caymanian Protection Act, to introducing term limits for non-Caymanian civil servants. We heard about that back in May. And the tightening of rules for work permits, to reshaping how spouses and civil partners of Caymanians and permanent residents move towards residency or Caymanian status. There's also some more oversight, new penalties for false declarations, and even a brand new category called Certificates for Commercial Farmhands, which helps formalize Cayman's agriculture workforce. So we're going to break down these proposed changes, what they mean for Caymanians, residents, and employers, and of course, what questions and concerns you, the public, might have as the consultation period runs until November 14th. So if you read the draft bill, or so far, if you've read it, only came out last Friday, or you've been chatting about it amongst your people, please share your thoughts with me by calling our toll-free number from Flow, which is 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp call or WhatsApp text me at 925-3261. So share your comments, your ideas, your reflections on this new bill, which is going to be changed to, the name itself should be changed to the Caymanian Protection Act. So let's get into it. What's changing? What's staying the same? And how could this bill reshape the Cayman Islands' approach to immigration for years to come? So in summary, the bill, it's a set of 37 clauses updating immigration rules to better align with Caymanian priorities while trying to keep the islands competitive and socially cohesive. Government says both the government and opposition campaigns' promises pointed to an urgent need for reform after years of pressure on population, economy, and infrastructure. And I think we can all agree with that. So as of Friday, October 17th, last Friday, public consultation is now open and runs through November 14th. To view the draft bill, go to www.gov.ky/labor. That's LABOUR. And you can give your feedback to, you're going to email, immigrationconsultation@gov.ky. So again, if you are trying to get a hold of this draft bill and you want to check it out and go through the 37 clauses, go to gov.ky/labor. And then you can give your feedback to immigrationconsultation@gov.ky. I believe it was about 58 pages, if memory serves correct. So what's actually going to change now in this immigration bill? There will be a title change. So there's the Immigration Transition Act, and that will be renamed the Caymanian Protection Act. So that alone signals a shift in emphasis, I would say, from managing movement to prioritizing Caymanian rights and opportunities. I understand what they're doing with the word Caymanian because we see it in the newly formed government name, the National Coalition for Caymanians, and now this bill being renamed to, or the act being renamed to, the Caymanian Protection Act. So there's something to be said about repeating a word over and over and just the place that it takes in your mind. So there's been a lot of talk about a loss of Caymanian identity, and especially we know that Caymanians are outnumbered in their own country here in Cayman. So to be able to kind of bring that pride back and recognition of your own people by just putting the word Caymanian into certain titles, it's going to bring it's going to bring forward a sense to you. It's just going to remind you that you are Caymanian, that Caymanians are what these bills are all about, that these changes are all about the future of Cayman and Caymanians, or, that's the hope for it. So using the word Caymanian, there's a bit of a psychological effect in what they're doing. I get it. I'm in marketing. I understand the purpose of it. And that's what they're doing with this bill. So one of the big changes is the title change to the Caymanian Protection Act. The second change is that there's going to be a stronger oversight and data sharing. So we've heard the Minister for Caymanian Immigration, we heard him, Minister Byles, we heard him speak about a lot of data sharing. He spoke about this during his campaign run, and he spoke about this after he was elected. And he understands that, a lot of us understand that a lot of different government departments somewhat work in silos. There's not a lot of data information sharing, which could help just put everything in alignment, understanding how many graduates are coming out, the areas that they're studying, and then looking at what the job opportunities are in Cayman, what the upcoming ones are for them, the emerging industries, what employers have available, what employers are expecting to have available when it comes to jobs, that information isn't necessarily shared, and we need it because it's a system that feeds itself once we're able to share that kind of information. What's the point in having the information if we can't share it? What's the point in knowing how many students are graduating and coming back to Cayman perhaps with a degree in tech, for example, if we don't know how many jobs are going to be available right now and in the near future? So to be able to share that data, I think, will definitely help understand the needs of the island, especially when it comes to labor. So, a new section, 8A, empowers the Director of Work and the immigration boards to request information from any entity needed to perform their duties, except in cases of national security or legal privilege. So when it comes to data sharing, this is what can happen. The Director of Work and immigration boards can request information from any entity needed to perform their duties. So that makes data sharing across agencies mandatory, which is going to help identify Caymanians for jobs and track compliance. I think that's interesting, but one thing I want to note is it brings the question in my mind of, will this breach any data privacy acts that we have right now? So we know that data privacy and data sharing has really become quite a big focus of concern in the past couple of years. So when it comes to this data sharing, how is it going to be done that it is going to safeguard people's private information as well? So that's a big thing to consider, and I'm sure that is something that the government has thought of, or if they have not, which I doubt, they're going to know about it now. So that is the second big change, the stronger oversight and data sharing. The third change, which we had a topic about on The Buzz, I know we talked about it on Talk Today, and I believe even on For the Record, we talked about the changes in the marriage and civil partnership rules. Now this was a big one. This was quite a pretty amazing show when we spoke about that here on The Buzz. So spouses and civil partners of Caymanians will now receive a residency and employment rights certificate valid for 15 years. They can apply for an indefinite renewal only near the end of that 15-year period. After holding the renewed RERC for 1 year, they may apply for naturalization. The board must also now weigh the stability of the marriage, financial capacity, and any signs of a marriage of convenience before approval. This change signals clear intent by discouraging marriages of convenience and promoting long-term, stable relationships. One of the interesting, we know that there's a lot of marriages of convenience that happen. They've been said to me. I'm sure we all know somebody who's engaged in something like that. But one of the interesting points that was brought up when we did have a show about this was, I think more of a Western notion. We like to think of marriage is about love. And that's one of the main factors that draws people towards marriage. And, in other cultures, marriage is can be more of a business deal. And people will often say marriage is a business when you go into it. But in Western culture, it's not necessarily looked at as a business transaction within the family to strengthen a family or strengthen family ties. We've seen that goes way back in history, with a king in one country marrying a princess or something in another country and aligning those countries together. We see this. This is not a new idea. So what's interesting to me is, in discouraging marriages of convenience and helping to promote long-term, stable relationships, are we looking at that just through the eyes of a marriage should be conducted solely on the basis of love, the principles of love? Or do we consider that, some marriages are basically a business transaction? And who are we to say whether that marriage is valid or not? Just some thoughts. We're going to go to a commercial break right now, and when we come back, I will get into a few more of the very important clauses out of the 37 clauses that are part of the changes in the Immigration Transition Bill 2025.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Joseph James Anglin, 1899-1982.
Captain Joseph James Anglin was a sea captain who sailed to the Mosquito Keys, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Tampa, Florida. Married to Alvis Christina Chrissy Ebanks and the father of 12 children, he was a God-fearing Christian and a preacher in church. Known as a good neighbor, he helped to build a strong community.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets, sizzling hot and moving. Get your tickets now. Grand prize $40,000. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes. Sellers prizes up to $5,000. Get your $25 ticket from Rotary Central members. Rotary ticket sellers across Cayman. Eventpro.ky. Funky Tangs, Shudden Road. Rotarian Annie Rose Scott in Cayman Brack. A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Georgetown. And other locations. Rotary Central Cayman Islands. Supporting more than 70 projects across our community, across the Cayman Islands. The 30th annual Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 29. Jamming with Sugar Daddy, Los Tropicanos, and musical crew at Salty's Harbor Grill, Red Bay. Your ticket, your chance through Rotary Central.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Cruise into summer with expert service from Automotive Art Cayman. More than a retail store, it's your one-stop auto care shop. We offer paint, detailing, accessories, wheels, Yamaha parts and products, batteries, tire repairs, tire changes, and more. Need top-tier shine and protection? Grab Gliptone detailing gear, Chevron synthetic oil, and Axiom car care kits. Get expert service with premium products all under one roof. Wherever you cruise, make your pit stop at Automotive Art first. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This hurricane season, don't wait until the last minute. Store before the storm.
Stock up now with at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for a 3-day supply. And don't forget pets, the elderly, and nursing mothers. You'll need water for drinking and daily needs. And rest easy knowing the Water Authority is working hard to protect our water systems, keeping pumps, pipelines, and storage secure so you'll have safe, reliable water when you need it most. Be prepared. Store before the storm.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It is Tuesday, October 21st, a beautiful day so far. I know the rain's kind of hit us a little earlier in the morning, but if you're on your way to work, I hope it's a safe and pleasant drive, and thanks for hanging out with me. This morning, we are talking about the Immigration Transition Bill 2025, which is now out as of Friday, October 17th. It is now out for public consultation until November 14th, and you can check out the bill at the draft bill at gov.ky/labor, and you can give your feedback to immigrationconsultation@gov.ky. There's 37 clauses that are updating immigration rules to better align with Caymanian priorities, and I just spoke about a few of them. One of them includes a change in the name of the act, which would be now, they're proposing to call it the Caymanian Protection Act. And I spoke a little bit about the stronger oversight and data sharing and the changes to the marriage and civil partnership rules. So to move on, there's also going to be extended residency pathways. So under Section 28, the residency period to qualify for Caymanian status is being lengthened. The general requirements move from 15 years to 20 years. Marriages after 2025 require 15 years of marriage or partnership before a status application. Applicants granted Caymanian status must now file an annual declaration for 7 years to keep it or risk revocation. So those are the proposed changes for the extended residency pathways. There is also the introduction of new term limits, which we've also heard about since about the summertime, and it's been a bit of a contentious point for some people out there, and some people absolutely love this idea. So for the first time, the bill introduces term limits for non-Caymanian civil servants, similar to the private sector workers. There's specific durations that will be set in regulations, but this means that government employees from overseas won't be indefinite hires anymore. The work permit rules will also change. A new section, Section 64, replaces the old one. Workers who change employers within their first 2 years must leave the islands and cannot reapply for a year, except where cabinet grants exemptions. The goal of this is to reduce job hopping and maintain labor stability. I would really love your thoughts on this. This is a point that I really want to discuss. 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can call or WhatsApp us, or call or text us at 925-3261. Now, why do I really want to go over this point? I can tell you that when I moved here, the first couple of employers that I had absolutely used their power to wave an indescribable amount of fear in my face. And the quote, "We will get you kicked off the island," quote, I have the chief immigration officer's number on speed dial. I guess this is when you could have speed dial back in the day. I don't know if you can still have that. I'll find out where your next job is immediately. That was a person who had their own jet plane, by the way. Imagine being threatened in your 20s by a multimillionaire with their own jet plane. These things happen, and I'm saying this to show you the abuse of power that so many employers have that a lot of people do not want to admit and talk about. I worked somewhere where, based on your nationality, basically the Philippines, if you were coming from the Philippines, you were getting almost less than minimum wage. It was never going to be argued by the workers, I'll tell you that. Most of the times we would go to cash in our checks on a Friday and the checks would bounce. We couldn't get our pay. A lot of employees didn't have their health and pension taken care of. There was no contributions coming from the employer. And mind you, when the employer gets caught, it's not a heavy penalty for them. It's barely anything. The money that they've saved in comparison is huge compared to any penalty they might receive. So I do think these are my experiences, guys. These are my very exact experiences in Cayman, the first couple of jobs I had. I knew about the job hopping thing, and it was a little different back then. And I didn't job hop per se, but I had to get out of an environment that was basically supporting kind of slave labor. That's all I could call it. I would go to work and I would necessarily get paid, but there would be workers working 12 to 14-hour days outside doing construction, not getting paid for 3 weeks, standing outside, bawling their eyes out just to get paid by the employer, who I knew was using that money for his extracurricular activities. And amongst a certain profession in Cayman, you can imagine what that extracurricular activity might have been and where his money was going to. Meanwhile, grown men didn't have food, didn't have money to pay their bills or to keep a roof over their head. This is why the thing with job hopping is a very sensitive issue. It's a really, really sensitive issue. The realities of what really does go on in Cayman and why people job hop, that really needs to be explored and understood. All right, I do believe we have a message on WhatsApp in regards to this. It says, "Good morning, Kathy. I agree that a work permit holder should not be allowed to job hop, as this is just another loophole to stay on the island so they can apply for PR." Okay, thank you. I appreciate your thoughts there. I think job hopping with that intention is a bad idea. But job hopping for your peace of mind and just to be safe and work in a safe, non-toxic environment, I think we all deserve that. So if somebody comes here and finds out this is not what they had signed up for and they're not getting paid and they are being somewhat abused by their employer, absolutely, I understand the reason of switching jobs, and some people might call it job hopping. Again, I've seen it firsthand in a couple of different jobs here in Cayman when I first moved here. So there's an introduction of a new certificate for commercial farm hands. This bill introduces a certificate for commercial farm hands, which allows workers in agriculture or land care to work under specific employers. I feel like I need to explore this, but this is a new introduction when it comes to labor. So it's valid for up to ages 65 and renewable by the employer, and it's aimed at formalizing and protecting Cayman's farming workforce. I think it's definitely interesting to learn a little bit more about the new certificate for commercial farm hands, but this is a new item that they're adding to the Immigration Transition Act 2025. There are also new financial integrity rules. So providing false financial information is now a criminal offense and fines up to $10,000 or 1 year in prison and potential revocation of permits or certificates. The new mandatory annual declarations for several permit categories, including permanent residence and direct investment certificates. This is a push for more accountability and transparency. There are also civil servant exemptions and validations being introduced. Some exemptions are under Section 53 and now can be conditional or unconditional at Cabinet's discretion. The bill also validates past work fees and fines that lacked statutory backing, cleaning up past legal gray areas. I think that's also a great thing. And another change, the 10th and final one that I have to share with you, is changes to refunds and regulations. So Cabinet will have the power to refund, waive, or reduce immigration fees in defined circumstances. This provides flexibility to correct errors or address special cases. Now, this is open for public consultation. So when it comes to the Immigration Transition Act 2025, you have until November 14th to weigh in on it. Go to gov.ky/labor to read the draft bill. Send your feedback to immigrationconsultation@gov.ky. I would have loved to hear from our listeners. I know there's a lot to say out there from our listeners, but we ran out of time. I got to go to the 8 a.m. news, and then after that, we got a little talk about, it's a great talk, not a little talk. all about AI in business.
Thank you, Kathy. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
We are Radio Cayman,
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With a look at your latest news, I'm Jevi Ebanks from the Radio Cayman newsroom. Barrington Latham has pleaded guilty to a charge of common assault, admitting to forcibly taking a gold chain from another man during a dispute over unpaid money. Latham had been scheduled to stand trial on Monday, but proceedings will not go ahead following his guilty plea. He remains on bail and is expected to be sentenced in December, pending the completion of a social inquiry report and a victim impact statement. Leon Merrin has been remanded into custody and will remain at HMP Northwood until his next court appearance on the 27th of October, when he's expected to enter pleas to charges of drug possession and failing to provide a urine sample. He appeared via video link from Fairbanks Detention Center on Monday before Magistrate McFarlane. Merrin had previously been granted bail to a Georgetown address, but was quickly returned to custody following a weekend incident. In other local news, the National Recognition Awards Committee has extended the deadline for nominations for the 2026 National Recognition Awards. The committee says the new closing date, now the 31st of October, closes at 11:59 p.m., giving the public more time to nominate individuals or groups who've helped shape Cayman's physical landscape. Next year's awards will honor contributions to physical infrastructure, recognizing those who have built and strengthened Cayman's roads, ports, utilities, and other key developments. The awards will be presented on National Heroes Day, the 26th of January, 2026. To nominate someone or to learn more about the categories, email nhd@gov.ky. That's your latest local news. I'm Jevi Ebanks. Now to the BBC for headlines around the world.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. Japan's parliamentarians have elected Sanae Takaichi as the country's first female Prime Minister. Ms Takaichi, who heads the governing Liberal Democratic Party, will be sworn in on Tuesday evening and is then expected to form her government. From Tokyo, here's Shaima Khalil.
The optics of this for young women and girls watching is quite remarkable, to see the first woman to become Japan's leader, but the core of the politics is the same. I was speaking to a group of young women, and one of them told me that it's hard to identify with her politics because essentially she's perpetuating the patriarchal society, being compliant to the politics of the men. So when it comes to women's issues, don't expect to see much change and expect more conservative and more right-leaning policies with her in power.
A record number of women and girls are being killed in global conflicts, according to a United Nations report. The UN Secretary-General's report on women, peace and security says that as the world experiences the highest number of active conflicts since 1946, the situation is creating unprecedented risks and suffering. Sarah Douglas is a spokesperson for UN Women.
Very alarmingly, in the last 2 years, the number of women killed in armed conflict, the proportion actually quadrupled compared to the previous 2 years. And we also saw sexual violence in conflict rising by 87% just in 2 years.
The former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has started his 5-year sentence at La Santé prison in central Paris. Sarkozy was convicted of criminal conspiracy in a scheme to finance his 2007 election campaign with funds from the Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. He denies wrongdoing and has filed a request to be released from jail while he appeals. There are reports of a drone attack near the Sudanese capital's international airport. The authorities were due to reopen the facility on Wednesday for the first time in over 2 years. Shinkai Nyoka reports.
Witnesses told the AFP news agency that they heard sounds of drones followed by multiple explosions in an area near the airport early Tuesday morning. Images posted on social media and yet to be verified by the BBC appear to show a series of blasts. Khartoum International Airport had been heavily damaged and closed since fighting erupted between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces 30 months ago.
The World Food Programme says that it can still not deliver its daily target of 2,000 tonnes of supplies into Gaza because not all of the crossings are open. A spokesperson for the UN agency, Obir Atefa, said that only 2 crossings were functioning and there were none into the famine-hit north. Meanwhile, the US Vice President, J.D. Vance, has arrived in Israel as part of efforts to bolster the Gaza ceasefire deal. This is the latest world news from the BBC.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Radio Cayman News.
Public Health has reported, quote, several cases of gastroenteritis.
Local prices surged in the second quarter of this year.
Investigation continues into a report that a student brought a gun to Clifton Hunter High School last week.
Want to assure parents that DES is committed to keeping our schools safe.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure is 29.93 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 7 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate a few showers with thunder are expected as moisture continues to linger across the area and an upper level trough lends support. Also, moderate winds becoming gusty near showers are likely and seas will gradually deteriorate with time. Radar imagery shows scattered thunder showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the west-southwest. The National Hurricane Center continues to monitor an active tropical wave over the Central Caribbean, which at last check had a 90% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor this area of possible development. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times, with a 40% chance of showers and thunder, and showers will be locally heavy at times, possibly leading to flooding of low-lying areas. Temperatures today will be in the low 90s. Winds east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts in and around heavy showers. And seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight. Partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times with a 40% chance of showers and some thunder, and showers will be locally heavy, possibly leading to flooding of low-lying areas for tonight as well. Temperatures falling near the upper 70s, winds east to northeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts in and around heavy showers. And seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Today's high tide will be this morning at 9:30, low tide this afternoon at 3:25, and a high tide again tonight at 8:39. The sun will set this evening at 5:56 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:23. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Friday morning.
On Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit-K, where people come first.
Rotary Central Cayman Islands, in association with the Cayman Islands Health Services Authority and the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, present East to West Health Check. Free for you, free for all. Free blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, body mass index screening and assessment. Free physician's consult. The 14th Annual Rotary Central Diabetes Awareness Screening. East End Health Center. Cost You Less West Bay. A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Georgetown. Saturday, November 1st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The East to West Health Check, a Rotary Central community initiative.
Aunt Jemima, go tell your mama, conk knock on no bone. Aunt Jemima, go tell your mama, conk knock on no bone.
Hey Cayman, we are back. Your one and only Cayman Islands folk singers live in concert. Friday, October 24th and the 25th at the Harkwell Theatre. Bring the family and enjoy a walk down memory lane with Memories in Melody. Series of songs to remember. The Cayman Islands folk singers. Friday, October 24th and Saturday, October 25th at the Harkwell Theatre. Show starts at 7 p.m. on Friday and gates open at 6:30 p.m. And on Saturday, gates open at 5:30 and show starts at 6 p.m. Tickets are available at the Intergenerational Hub, Winner Circles, and the Folk Singer members. $15 for adults, $10 for children. Memories in Melody is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage.
Aunt Jemima, go tell your mama, conk knock on no bone. Aunt Jemima, go tell your mama, conk knock on no bone.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning to you. Let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic flowing at a moderate pace. Further down, different story. It's traffic little steadier as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Slow moving traffic on Crew Road. Steady traffic coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, as well as Bobby Thompson Way. As we turn our attention to Godfrey Nixon Way and Easton Avenue, traffic is flowing at a pretty good pace. No issues there. Edward Street, light to moderate traffic flow, as well as Owen Roberts Drive. Coming from the West Bay 4-way stop, moderate flow of traffic. And traffic on the West Bay Road heading towards the Georgetown area in front of the Ritz. It's a little steady traffic, but nothing to worry about too much. Heading towards the West Bay area on the West Bay Road, traffic is moderate. If you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another traffic report.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good Morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And in this segment of the show, we are going to be talking about AI 101, the Future of Business, Government, and Work seminar. It is a conference taking place Thursday, October 30th, the day before Halloween, and it'll be held at the Hotel Indigo from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. It's a seminar that takes an in-depth look at artificial intelligence and its fast-growing influence across industries and public services. We're going to hear from AI experts, Joseph Wehebe, yes, I got the name right, and Tamsin Deasey Weinstein.
Well done.
Yes. With moderation by Paul Byles, as they share practical insights on how AI is reshaping business models, transforming government, impacting the workforce, and driving innovation, while also addressing the ethical and regulatory considerations that come with it. So good morning to my guests, which are Paul Byles, Director of Financial Services Institute, and Tamsin Deasey Weinstein, Senior Director of the University College of the Cayman Islands.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Very well,
Good,
thank
good.
you. I would like the rain to stop, but...
Yes, you said your dad is visiting right now, right? And
he is. We've been trying to play cricket for 3 days now, but today, hopefully, we'll get there.
Well, there's a batting cage, if that helps.
That's where we're going.
Okay, great. Okay, you're going to have a little bit of fun. I hope the weather cooperates.
Thank you.
It has little windows. It has little windows for you. Now, Tamsin, you've been on The Buzz with me before.
Yep.
And we had our own AI talk on emerging industries in Cayman and everything that really UCCI is also doing to help ready students.
Yep.
And work with different businesses here and understanding what their gaps are and needs are when it comes to AI. We had a great talk. You do so much AI information. Guys, honestly, this lady, by 7 a.m., almost every morning, she'll have a different PDF playbook on LinkedIn that she publishes that's just full of information. I'm like, how do you do this? She's like, well, I do it while I'm at the gym.
I did it this morning, actually.
So she is a wealth of information. If you don't know Tamsin, definitely go check out her LinkedIn and you will see, so much that's on there. And I'm pretty sure our community is very familiar with Paul Byles as well. So you've been a bit of a stalwart when it comes to the financial services industry. You've done a lot in Cayman. And just recently, just over a year ago, you started the Financial Services Institute, which I've been trying to get you on the show to talk about. So I'm going to plug that and say I'm bringing you back for just that segment alone.
Yeah, happy to do that. Yeah.
But we are here to talk about the AI 101 Future of Business, Government, and Work seminar. So tell me, what inspired this conference?
I think it's overdue, basically. We have been kind of talking about AI for a while now, I think, as a country and as a community. It's fast-paced. It's developing very quickly, all different areas. The use of it is developing. The arguments around it are developing. Some of the risks related to it are being discussed a lot, right? The biggest one, of course, I think, was about how it will impact our jobs, right? And so I thought, okay, I think it's time for us to get the right people in the room, namely Tamsin and Joseph Wehebe, to talk in on more practical terms about the impacts and how it really works and how it might impact Cayman, and also for people to learn more. I guess you think until you hear from an expert, right? And then you start to really understand what this really means and what it is and different forms of AI as well. So that's the point behind the seminar. That's why it's called AI 101. It's not for experts, right? It's for people who want to learn more about AI, different forms, and how it applies in our kind of daily lives and work as well.
I'm curious because you're part of the financial services industry. Can you tell us how AI, on a day-to-day basis, even a regular workflow basis, how AI is impacting your industry right now?
I think it's huge. For me, AI is impacting industry in two primary ways. So if you are in the business where content is very important to your business, whether it's because you're marketing or because you're writing reports or you have to do research and you need more information, then AI is amazing, right, in terms of efficiency. You have to obviously know how to catch things that may not be correct when AI gives you output. But the point is that it just saves a lot of time, right? The second area, I think, if you're in a business where you need to work with numbers, where you need to get data and organize that data or calculate numbers, right? AI can be amazing as well in terms of the time that you spend trying to do all of that, right? AI is even more efficient than using, for example, an Excel worksheet or something like that. AI will do the data, organize it, collate it, add the numbers up, and then tell you about it as well. It will pick out the trends in the data, and then it will also give you a summary of what that it means as well. Again, you have to check your work, or you have to check the AI agent's work. But the point is that it just saves you a ton of time. It's really important in financial services. It's being deployed like in so many different ways.
I want to ask a follow-up question about how do we check an AI agent's work, but maybe we'll get to that in a little bit, because that's just going to really jump over a bunch of other things we've got to hit.
The interesting thing is an AI can check an AI's work, and that's the way we're going.
Oh, well.
There you go.
So then who checks their work? It's a compliance thing. It's interesting. Okay, so how would you describe Cayman's current level of AI awareness in our business sector?
Now, I don't know if Tamsin, if you did any surveys at all, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's the awareness of it, that it exists, yes, but the knowledge of like what it can do and actual practical use of it, I don't think it's that. I wouldn't have thought it's that high, to be honest.
I think it's very varied. I think there's a very small pocket of people with a lot of knowledge, and then 99.9% of people have a base level knowledge. So you say AI to them and they say, oh, I use ChatGPT. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I use ChatGPT, but actually AI is so much more than ChatGPT, and people have a very consumer-led knowledge of what AI is. And it's interesting, I was in England recently and I had dinner with a few people who own businesses in Manchester, which is a big city in England, and I assume they'd be well on with AI because the UK is forging ahead with all of their AI policies and governance, and there's a lot of innovation happening there. And there were 6 of us around the table and none of them used AI. And they all had different barriers to it, from, the energy that it used. They were against it in terms of energy efficiency, the environmental impacts, the not understanding it, data protection. Not one of them had any understanding of AI. And they all run different businesses in a city in England. So if you think about it from that context to where we are here, we have small pockets of people who have deep understanding, but most people have a very basic level because the education isn't there yet.
I just think it's so interesting that, you're at an event, a dinner with a bunch of business leaders in very interesting industries.
Yeah.
And they weren't necessarily adapting with AI, not using it.
I was astounded. And one of them owns a factory. So if you think in terms of automation, they should be utilising it. One of them owned a marketing agency, again, very AI driven.
Yes.
I was astounded. And a couple of them were graduate students who just finished PhDs, and they don't use it, and they're students.
Right.
So it's affecting everybody.
And you said, and I can't remember one of the reasons, but I think it was the first reason that you cited as to why they weren't using it. One of them was just not understanding it.
Yeah.
I forget what the first one was, but I was just a little bit blown away.
I think it was the younger people are worried about the environmental impact.
That was
young people
energy
are very
efficiency.
Yeah, they're very driven by kind of CSR environment. The older people were just scared of it, so there was a real divide based upon age. So it was interesting. I learned a lot from it because my world revolves around AI. So I think everybody knows what I know, and then when I get back out into the real world and I talk to people and realize that actually they don't, it kind of wakes me up a bit.
It was the energy efficiency part. They didn't think AI was energy efficient.
Yeah.
And I never would have correlated that.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that's an interesting perspective
to
have on AI. Okay, so a few years ago, I think it was 2023, it was the RF CEO, the Cayman Economic Outlook conference that was held. A question was asked in that room about ChatGPT, because I think ChatGPT had just come out a few months earlier. And the question in the room posed to everybody, almost 300 people, was, does anybody here use ChatGPT? And I put my hand up because I had just signed up. I was on that little wait list for a minute. I had signed up. I was just getting to use it. But there was only about 20 of us in the room that had raised our hand. And I was really surprised because I was like, whoa, these people are, in way higher roles than I am. And I was surprised. So that was 2023.
Yeah.
It is now 2025. It's almost 3 years later from that conference. And not a day goes by that I don't hear somebody in the community talking about or mentioning ChatGPT at least.
Yeah.
And not a day goes by that I do not use it.
There you go.
I think it's really important because the thing is, ChatGPT is basically replacing a lot of the output that you would get from Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people, when they want to find out about something, they just ask ChatGPT. It's much quicker, much easier. It's very organized output that you get back, and you don't have to search through and do lots of links. It's actually impacting companies like Google.
Yeah, it
because,
is.
Of course, the marketing, the advertising, that all the sites you would go to and all that is changing as well. But we use it a lot in that way, just to get information, or we ask questions and we get answers back. But it seems like, and I know Tamsin probably sees this a lot because she understands this area very well, we're just at the tip, not even at the tip of the iceberg, right? So we're using it to replace Google. But the truth is, the power of this thing is it's far beyond that in terms of what it can do for us and our businesses and so on.
Yeah.
We are just scratching the surface with it.
And the interesting thing is, we don't even know what it can do. Even the people who build it and make it don't know the extent of what it can do. And like you say, the interesting thing is, we all use it to write emails or do a Google search or book holidays or the real menial tasks that humans do. It has the power to eradicate diseases. It has the power to make us live longer. It has the power to truly transform our lives. And because our brains work the way they work, we use it to do menial tasks. So everybody uses it. The next question in a room at a conference should be, what do you use ChatGPT for? And if you say writing emails, 100% of people will put their hand up. If you say analysing data, maybe 10% of people will put their hand up. If you say, I don't know, something even more complex, maybe nobody will put their hands up. So we're the barriers because our brains only understand a specific amount of things. You know, when it gets really interesting is when AI teaches AI, and then it truly does things that we would never imagine.
And I see that happening. So I pay for my ChatGPT version.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So I pay for the premium service per se. And I can say in the past couple of years, it has absolutely learned my writing style and my tone.
Yeah.
So I know Claude is a different one. And I've heard you, which is similar to ChatGPT and Tamsin, you spoke about Claude before. And I've used Claude. I've played around with Claude, I think after a couple of workshops that you've put on. And I was like, let me go play with Claude. And for me, ChatGPT is already understanding me.
Yeah.
It's training to me.
It's got the history.
Yes. And I can very much see that transition and development with it. So I'm more of a fan in that sense of I'm going to stick there.
Yeah.
Per se, I know it's working for me.
Yeah.
And for example, my opening part of the Buzz today was talking about the Immigration Transition Act that they have now out for public consultation. I think it was a 58-page draft bill. If we've all read any bills, any laws that are out there, they're written in such a way that like it makes your brain just want to shut down. I don't understand legalese. It's I don't even think they understand it. So I will take that and I'll put it in ChatGPT.
I did the same.
You need to please break this, act as whatever, break this down for me, take the most important points, summarize it in layman terms that I can understand, that I can then better give that information to the audience, which is what I did this morning, for example. So many different ways to use it to get information out or whatever the purpose might be.
Yeah,
and I think that's actually one of the primary points behind the seminar as well, right? Is like people may not fully understand it. They don't fully understand the capacity of how it can really help them, right, in so many different ways. So one of the ways is the reasons for the event is to demonstrate that as well, like give some like case studies and examples of how it's used in both public and private sector as well.
I like that. Yeah. Could you, for example, give any ideas as to how AI is already reshaping business models in Cayman?
I think it's. I can tell you that I use it. I don't know, all day in my work. It just creates a lot of efficiencies for me. I think you're seeing it. It's funny, Tamsin mentioned emails just now.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be probably shocked at how many people are using it for basic communication.
Yeah.
Right? And this part I think is it's interesting, a little scary, but interesting as well. In that we're almost not trusting ourselves anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people I think are just like using chat to say, well, because ChatGPT is going to give me a much better response than I would myself. Is how they're thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tend not to use it like that, but I do use it for data a lot and pulling stuff together. In fact, your example is perfect. So your example of the legislation,
yes,
I used it for that, right? So this is, I think, one of the best ways to use it. But people are using it a lot for like just, how do I write this email, or how do I respond to this, this letter or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's telling them stuff. So that's the interesting part. The scary part is that you have to read the output, right? You have to read what it tells you to say. You can't just copy and paste it, because it might say something that makes no sense. It's not perfect, at least not yet, right?
Yeah. Right. You have to edit it as well.
Yeah.
You turn to it for a little bit of editing, but you also have to edit what it may have given you as well. Yeah. We got to go to our first commercial break, but when we come back, we are going to continue and get into a lot more detail about the AI 101 Future of Business, Government and Work seminar.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The soundtrack to your best memories lives on. Breeze 105.3 FM. From the golden hits of the 70s and 80s. I love you so. To the songs that still move you today. It's the music you know. The music you love. Uplifting mornings. Smooth afternoons. And good vibes all day long.
Over my years, I guess I shared it.
Don't just listen to the radio. Feel the breeze. Breeze 105.3 FM. Your station. Your music. Your memories.
Hi there, Cayman Islands. This is Noel Cayasso Smith, HIV lecturer for the Cayman AIDS Foundation. HIV has no name, no face. That's why it's important to always use a condom when engaging in sexual activity. Know your HIV status. Get tested today. Call the Health Services Authority and make an appointment to get tested today. Remember, early detection could save your life. This message has been brought to you from the Cayman AIDS Foundation.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in this segment of the show, we are talking about AI 101, the Future of Business, Government and Work seminar, and I have in studio with me Paul Byles, Director of Financial Services Institute, and Tamsin Deasey Weinstein, Senior Director of the University College of the Cayman Islands, and who I like to call one of Cayman's resident experts. Yes, you know that I gave you that title. Okay, we were just talking about some of a little bit of like use case scenarios and how businesses might be adapting to AI and what their current level of awareness in Cayman is when it comes to AI. There's risks for some companies, right? Risks and regulations is a big thing in implementing AI into an organization. Often I just like to run and do something and forget about all the procedural issues that go along with things. So when it comes to risks for companies and understanding how to implement it, what do you think businesses in Cayman should start to understand, get a grasp of?
So I think businesses have to start by looking at their own business model and their own data. I mean, the big thing with AI is it's based upon your data and what you've got. And whenever you're implementing anything, you have to think, how transparent is your data? Would you want your competitor to have it? You know, it belongs to you. You are responsible for it. So any AI implementation has to be done responsibly. And that's a learning curve for everybody. And what might be done on a national level will be different to what's done on an organizational level. And it depends on your business as well. If you're a doctor's surgery and you hold confidential data, you're not going to be using ChatGPT. You're not going to be putting patient data into it. If you're, you know, a small business one-man band that doesn't utilize confidential data, using an open source LLM model, a model like ChatGPT or Claude that people understand might be okay. So the rules are different for everybody, but it's about understanding what those rules are and what it means to you personally. And I think that's a good starting point. It's a minefield. And again, the AI sector moves so fast that the rules change so fast. I was listening to a podcast this morning on shadow AI. It always makes me think of Sonic the Hedgehog for some reason. But shadow AI is this huge thing that people are now talking about, that we as individuals all use our own AI tools. And companies don't know what we're using. So let's say an organization has 100 members of staff. They could all be putting the company data into tools that the company has no idea about. You might be going home and putting confidential company data into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever that might be, and the company doesn't know about it, and that's a huge risk for the company. So shadow AI has just exploded, and you know, companies have to understand how they can put these regulations in place to protect their own data about things they don't even know is happening. And a lot of that is policy driven.
Okay. Shadow AI is a term that I've just learned today. So this is brand new. So shadow AI.
It's a new term. It's a new term that's just been coined.
Okay.
Because companies have found that it's such a big issue. And everybody does it. We all go home and we all use tools, and our employer might not know that because we're using them personally. But how do they stop their employees putting company data into the tools when they're not in the company?
So they use shadow AI, which is like a little policeman.
Yeah.
Basically.
So it's, I mean, there's a couple of things they can do. One is, the most important thing is having policies in place.
Yeah.
So if as an organization you don't have a policy in place, there's no repercussions. If you don't train your employees on how they need to act, they're not going to know.
Right.
So you have to, one, educate them, two, put a policy in place to say what they can and can't do with the company data. And then there is software now that's just evolving, like recently in the past 6 to 8 weeks, that's privacy AI, which actually changes the data before it goes into the tools. So it kind of anonymizes it before it goes into the ChatGPT or the Claude. But that's obviously a cost implication. It would have to be done on an organizational level. That's just coming out now, like literally in the last few weeks.
But you're still feeding it that sensitive information. So you're still putting...
You are, but it's anonymizing it. So there's nothing. It will take out names and dates and company information. So if it did become open, let's say something happened and people could pick it up, they wouldn't know who it refers to.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a minefield. It's a whole minefield, but it's a whole area, again, of work that's exploding. There'll be thousands of millions of jobs in this area in the future.
Now, when it comes to policy and regulations in Cayman, I know that government just announced, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name again, but basically like a task force when it comes to
That's right.
AI implementation. Can you give us just a little brief little summary on that, because this ties into everything that we're talking about right here.
It does, yeah. So the government launched it on October the 6th, and it's the Digital Transformation Task Force. That's the shortened version. It's 9 people who are going to lead a blueprint for Cayman going forward. So there's a number of strands. There's digital trust, which is privacy, cybersecurity, ethics, all the things we've just been talking about. There's intelligence and transformation, and that's really AI and emerging tech and how it can transform Cayman. And that's the pillar that I lead. And then the third one is digital assets, so blockchain, tokenization, cryptocurrency, all the good stuff that Cayman relies upon. So we have a 6-month timeline, and we will be building a strategy to bring Cayman into the future so that we can make recommendations to the government on how they should pick this up and run it going forward.
Right. So implementing AI policy throughout the public sectors, hopefully maybe it could be used as guidance towards private sector as well.
It will be everything. It will be everything from national policy to how we make it equitable and that everybody in Cayman can learn about AI. It will be how it can help businesses, small and large. It will be how we grow our economy, how we change our education system. It will pervade everything. So it's a huge project. Not every recommendation will be taken forward, which it shouldn't be, but all we can do is make those recommendations, and the government has committed to taking some forward.
Okay.
And I think actually one of the most important aspects, maybe Tamsin just touched on it, and in fact that's what she's going to be talking about at the seminar, is on the whole workforce development and human capital, right? And the impact of AI on this. Because I think the debate at the outset, the debate was more about whether or not it would take our jobs. I think we've moved on from that now, and we're looking at how it could completely transform the way we work even, right? So it actually will create jobs at the same time that we're worried about whether it's taking jobs away from us as well. So it will create, multiple numbers of jobs. Right, and I think that's really key to remember through the efficiencies, but not just efficiencies. Think about it like this: AI, because of the use of AI, someone who never thought they could start a new business will start a new business, right? Because now they feel they have the capacity to do it. There's something they didn't know before, some skills they didn't have before, that they were like, you know what, I don't actually need those skills. I can use AI to help me with that. And so I think you are starting to see people be more ambitious, more adventurous, and trying new things and starting new businesses, which creates more jobs as well themselves, right? So that's a really important aspect.
That's true. And all the entrepreneurs at the moment, look at all these people who are creating these globally, successful businesses worth billions. They're like 22 years old. The massive companies at the moment are OpenAI, Lovable is a vibe coding company. They're all in their 20s.
Wow.
Like, it's truly insane. And then there's the old people like me running behind them trying to catch up.
Yes, I wish I had that mind in mind, or the possibilities back then. I don't think AI was quite as developed back then, so we can't help it.
That's it. It's not our fault,
right? That generation is very lucky. I think, Paul, you brought up a very important point as well when it comes to a lot of people fear that AI is going to take over their jobs, and I think a lot of business owners might have a bit of that sense as well. And not understanding how do I bring in an AI tool or program that will help with productivity and efficiency, but also doesn't make one of my employees feel like that's it and the job's been taken over and they'll be out of work. And my thing is, I think AI is a collaborative tool. There's so many different programs we can use to make us more efficient, and if I can get something done a little easier with the help of AI, I should be able to help in my job capacity somewhere else greater, right?
Yeah, I think I'll give you an example, a personal example, right? So, in my business, on my consulting firm FTS, the ability to analyze information, make arguments, and draft a report that someone else can read and coherently and understand what you're. This is actually a service, right? It's what consultants do, right? So consultants go in to assess a problem, analyze what the causes might be, talk to people, get potential solutions, put it all down in a document that they can provide then to decision makers, and then they charge a fee for that. So if you think about the use of AI initially, it's scary because AI can do a lot of what I just described to you, right? And so you would think, okay, well, that's it for consultants, except not, right? Now consultants can use AI to do 100 times more what they were doing before, right? So now they can write 200 reports instead of 20, right, in the same period, right? But you still, and this is the part that we talk about risk, you still need the ability to be able to review and assess the work. And even if you use another AI to check your AI, you still ultimately need to say the buck stops somewhere. Is there anything in here that doesn't make any sense, right? In other words, you still need the skill set that I was saying that maybe, you will get eroded. You still need it actually, right? You just, it's just more time efficient. You're not spending 20 hours, you're spending 1 hour instead of 20, but it's still the same model.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, you've still got to be able to speak to whatever the output is. So even if it produces that report for you, if you don't understand it, it's irrelevant anyway. And the interesting thing about AI models, I don't know if I said this the last time I was on, is they are biased to the person using it. So they are trained to please you, which is why people fall in love with them.
I've fallen in love so bad I've created my own AI boyfriend.
Exactly.
So, yes.
The divorce rate is going to skyrocket. But they are trained to please you, so they know what you like and they know how your brain works, and they give you the answer that you want. It doesn't mean it's the right answer. And I think I gave an example the last time. Sam Altman is the guy who is in charge of OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Elon Musk has Grok, which is another AI tool. And Elon Musk asked ChatGPT who was more intelligent, him or Sam Altman, and it said Elon Musk. And then Sam Altman did the same thing, and it said Sam Altman. And then I asked it, who is more intelligent, me, Elon, or Sam? And it told me, because it knew it was mine. So you can't trust the output. It's going to tell you what you want to hear unless you manipulate it not to do that. So that's a really key point, that you still need the human, because if you're presenting something as a business, as fact, it's absolutely not fact. It's biased to you. And that might be not what your client needs to hear or your customer needs to hear. That's what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm. So objectivity in how you are viewing the information that AI might have output to you is still very, very key.
Very key. Very key.
All right. We have to take another commercial break right now. When we come back, I want to talk about what the topics, the presentations at the seminar will include. All right.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Reading is a match that lights the flame of imagination, innovation, curiosity, ambition. Register today for the inaugural Free to the Public Literacy Conference, the Life Conference 2025, Saturday, November 1st, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Kimpton Seafire Resort, 7 Mile Beach. The theme, Early Childhood, Strong Start, Strong Future. Keynote speaker, Dr. Dan Worry, founder of the Early Childhood Policy Solutions. Register now. Go to lifeconference.ky. Life, literacy is for everyone. Supported by Rotary Central, Cayman Islands.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Summer's heating up and the water's calling. From cruising the coast in your boat to riding Yamaha Wave Runners, Automotive Art Cayman will get you ready. We offer expert servicing by Yamaha certified staff, as well as engine repairs, performance upgrades, engine and electrical installation, and more. Need it tuned, cleaned, repaired, or race ready? We'll keep you running smooth, whether you're riding waves or racing them. Trust Automotive Art for expert service and upgrades. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking about the upcoming conference called AI 101, the Future of Business, Government, and Work Seminar. My guests in studio are Paul Byles, Director of Financial Services Institute, and Tamsin Deasey Weinstein, Senior Director of the University College of the Cayman Islands. Now, we only got about 10 minutes left, and I want to get into the program for the day. So what kind of presentations can we expect at this seminar? What can people learn? What are going to be, what you think the key takeaways are?
Sure. Well, Joseph is our visiting kind of keynote speaker, and he's has a lot of international experience, including the World Economic Forum, being a part of that AI network for that. He's going to be talking about AI in the private business as well as in the public sector. We're trying to make it as broad as possible, so we have all of that. So he is going to be able to give some really good examples, actually, of how it's being implemented and some of the challenges, even some of the risks. You mentioned risks earlier as well, so I think that's going to be really exciting. And of course, expert to my left here will be touching on one of my favorite topics, which is on the workforce, the human capital side of it, and how AI can help us. We're not to be sort of scared of AI, but how AI can actually make us more productive. AI is already making economies more productive. There's more output from businesses and economies as a result, a direct result of it as well. And I read an article recently. There isn't. It's hard to find evidence that AI is taking jobs away from the economy as well, because, like I said, it's like having this dual impact. It's making people more ambitious, and their aspirations are becoming real, and they're actually creating jobs, right? So we'll be talking a bit about that, and then we will wrap up the day with a nice panel with Tamsin and Joseph, where the audience can interact directly with them and ask tons of questions about AI. So I think it's going to be a nice afternoon.
Ask Joseph lots of questions.
Yeah, Joseph, yeah.
I have to say, I met Joseph a few years ago in Boston at MIT. He was a keynote speaker there. He has so much experience of building national and state ecosystems in AI. He's worked in the Middle East. He's worked in lots of states in America. He's worked with governments, private sector, public sector. He is so knowledgeable. He's excellent. He's really, really good. So if you do get the opportunity, even if you don't want to hear me, Joseph is excellent globally.
Grace, well, I mean, everyone wants to hear you.
There you go.
You're a great speaker, entertaining, full of lots of very interesting information for sure. Okay, so that's part of what we can expect to hear at the seminar. Is there a registration process, a fee for people?
Yeah, registration on caymanfsi.ky, and just go to seminars and you'll see the AI conference pop up. It's 400 CI. We're encouraging people from the big firms and government as well to bring groups along, and we'll also provide, we offer to give a discount for people over 5 groups of 5, so that we just want to encourage lots of people to come out and get as much exposure as possible. So yeah, caymanfsi.ky, and you can sign up. It takes 30 seconds and you're good.
What are the key takeaways that you would want businesses and people who are just going in to learn? Because it's at AI 101. So what would be the key takeaways that you would hope that they would gather from the seminar to be able to implement into their perhaps everyday work life?
I would want someone to leave the room saying, I didn't realize that I get it now. I understand a better scope of what it can do and how it can help me. I think it's about people understanding the practical use of it. That's really the point of the exercise. And it's like, we know what AI is. I mean, we could tell you that there are all these different agents you could use, but you can also find that online. The question is, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to your business? What does it mean to you if you work in a government department?
Yeah.
Like, how can you apply it, right?
Yeah.
This is what I want people to leave the room, feeling that they got some more information in that area.
All right. We got a little
music
background
there.
music in the background. I thought that was your past DJ Paul era coming back.
No. This is definitely Tamsin.
All right. Just, had to throw that in there. Tamsin, I know that with UCCI, you have recently introduced it's an AI certification program, I think it is?
Yes, so there's some short AI courses that are being rolled out at the moment for adults who want to learn a little bit more. They're not accredited at the moment, but they are I think it's 6 weeks over the weekend just for people to get a basic understanding of AI. In the future, hopefully, UCCI and other providers on the island will do much more in-depth credentialized AI training. But this is a good starting point for people who want to understand what AI means.
Right. It's opening the doors.
It's opening the doors.
Yeah, and it's helping people transition with their an upskill, I would say, for sure, which is it's needed. So from your understanding of the workforce, and Paul, yours as well, what are employers looking for when it comes to that next generation with the kind of skills that they're going to need to bring in terms of AI?
So it's interesting. I think if you look at jobs globally on LinkedIn, in places like North America, they are ahead of us in terms of what skill sets they're looking for. And there's so many jobs out there for AI specific people, whether that's people with AI skills like machine learning specialist, or it's being embedded in normal jobs. So let's say you need someone who does, I don't know, a financial services job. It's a byline that they need to have AI training. It's going to end up being across every job. So at the moment, if you look at a job spec and it will say must be proficient in X, Y, and Z, software models or whatever that might be, I truly believe in the next year or two it's going to be must be proficient in AI or machine learning or have an understanding of implementation or whatever that is. So I think our employers have to start catching up, and they have to start understanding that their employees need to know this. And if they don't know it, like we touched upon earlier, it's a risk to the business. So even from a risk perspective, if their employees don't know the skills of the future, one, the business isn't going to grow and thrive, but two, it's dangerous because they can be using that data inappropriately. So they have a responsibility to train their employees. We all have a responsibility to teach ourselves as well. That's our personal responsibility. But our employers, especially adults who are out of the education system, have a responsibility to train our employees. If you want your business to thrive, you train them.
And I think we, just as individuals, if you want to better yourself, you're always going to be seeking knowledge, right? And learning new things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's way too much out there to learn. And I'm like, where do we find the time of the day? But
that's true.
You know, we can do it.
But it's inevitable as well, right? Because if you, as a business, if you want to improve your processes and well, usually generate more profits, right? You're going to use AI.
Yeah.
And you're going to use AI, which means that your staff and your team have to understand how to use it. And like Tamsin talking about the risk as well and the privacy issues and so on. So it's inevitable. I think we're already there. We have to use it. I mean, within my group of companies, all the staff have access to AI. That decision had to be made months ago. That we just needed to do that because it made everybody better at what they were doing. As simple as that. So I think it's.
How did you approach the policy within your companies in the use of AI?
Well, I think client data can't be uploaded to AI right now. I'm pretty sure there's going to be, Tamsin should comment on this actually, there's going to be a time when people are more comfortable because certain controls are in place, because otherwise that's going to be a limitation of AI, right? It's very simple, right? You can't not use AI, beyond that point, right? That's the issue. So it's a question of how you're going to protect the data. And I researched it recently actually for ChatGPT, and depends on the subscription that you have, right? That storage is there or not there. Now, when you just have a basic subscription, it's still there, right? If you upload something, the questions you ask, that information is still stored somewhere, right? But if you have a higher level subscription, which most ordinary people probably won't pay for, then you will have the ability to have more control over what's actually stored.
Yeah.
But I think that is going to change so that the privacy concern is addressed even for the ordinary user at some point as well.
That's true. And it's a massive growth area at the moment. Like you say, at the moment, privacy costs money. So that's what people will pay for. So it's only if you're looking at a large language model, which is called ChatGPT, they're called large language models. It's only the enterprise tier that gives you a certain level of privacy, and that's very expensive. It's not, your free or your $20 a month. But even the enterprise tier, you can't use if you're a law firm or a medical firm or something where it's, So then you need to you need to build or buy a bespoke model, which makes it even more expensive. So it's slowly coming down. There's companies seeing there's a huge gap in the market here. So they are building systems like the one I talked about earlier, where it anonymizes the data before you put it into the model, which will be cheaper for companies who can't afford the enterprise model or who can't afford the even more bespoke model. But it's a growth industry. It's so new. The solution isn't there yet.
I'm so fascinated. I'm very, very fascinated about just AI tools and what the future is going to hold with that. It really makes me be like, okay, I've been doing marketing forever, but I really also want to explore this a lot.
It's crazy.
And I think that's a great thing.
It's crazy.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
And we gotta close off because we're about to hit the headline news. But if there's any last comments you want to leave, you have about a minute to do so.
Just encourage everyone to come down to the seminar on the 30th. It's 1:30 to 5:30. There's a lot to learn. It's not aimed at experts, my most important point, really. So go to caymanfsi.ky, sign up to the seminar, and come on out and enjoy a good afternoon with us.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a great conversation. I'm sorry we got to end it now. We got to go to the headline news. And then in the next segment, I am welcoming the Breast Cancer Foundation.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, and right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Giovanni Curtis Watler remains on bail after pleading guilty to possessing and consuming ganja and cocaine. His sentencing was adjourned in the summary court on Monday due to a pending social inquiry report needed to guide the court's decision. He'll return to court once the report is completed. In regional news, the Belize government has commended law enforcement for swiftly detaining an alleged arsonist linked to a deadly fire that claimed the lives of Angelita Mahana and her young son Tishan Godoy early Monday in the Orange Walk district. Authorities suspect domestic violence may have triggered the attack, with reports indicating a former relative entered the home and set it ablaze. Two survivors, Miguel Novello and Shadia Mahania, remain hospitalized. The government also praised first responders and extended condolences to the victims' families. In regional news, Bahamas National Security Minister Wayne Monroe has urged citizens to avoid boarding go-fast boats departing from Venezuela, warning of potential danger amid increased U.S. military operations targeting drug traffickers in the region. His comments follow recent U.S. strikes off of the Venezuelan coast and a CARICOM meeting on regional security, where most leaders reaffirmed the Caribbean as a zone of peace. Monroe acknowledged the Bahamas cannot restrict U.S. actions in international waters and stressed the importance of warning citizens to avoid becoming unintended targets. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Orthopedic Clinic has relocated to the second floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's Orthopedic Clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking about the Breast Cancer Awareness Special. It's part of the Cayman Islands Breast Cancer Foundation's initiatives. What's going on this month? It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, if you live in Cayman and don't know that, I am sorry for you, because if anything that Cayman does right, it is bringing awareness to a disease as terrible as cancer, and especially in the month of October when it comes to breast cancer awareness. So we know that it is actually the most highly reported cancer in Cayman. It's a very important thing to keep in mind. So many people in Cayman have been affected by it, and if you have not, I guarantee you probably know somebody that has been affected by breast cancer. So that's what we're here to talk about today. And good morning to my guest. We have Miss Beverly here from the Breast Cancer Foundation, Miss Beverly Farrington.
Edgingtom.
Edgingtom. Oh, I thought it was Farrington.
No, it's Edgingtom. You're okay.
God, this is me not reading the thing properly. Sorry.
It's okay. It's not a problem. It's one of those surnames that's not easy to say anyway.
My bad. Okay, got it. So we are here to talk about to find out about the foundation and origins first of the Breast Cancer Foundation, and the impact that you have done in Cayman over the years.
Yeah. So the Breast Cancer Foundation is now 16 years old, and we were created by Kim Lund and a group of other directors, actually in memory of Kim's wife, Brenda Tibbetts Lund, who unfortunately passed from breast cancer at a very young age. And one of the things that he realised was that at that time, there wasn't an oncologist on island all the time. They were only visiting every 3 months. And possibly with the breast cancer that she was diagnosed with, if somebody had been here full time, maybe it would have been caught earlier. They could have done more aggressive treatment. So that's where the foundation came out from. And originally we started out as just simply fundraising and giving money to other charities. So we gave money to the Cancer Society and the Lions Club of Tropical Garden, and we still do that. We're still major sponsors of both of those foundations. But as the time went on, we realised, as you've just said, that breast cancer is the predominant cancer here in the Cayman Islands. 58% of cancer in the Cayman Islands is breast cancer, and that there needed to be a standalone foundation that could support the women and gentlemen, because men get breast cancer too, through their story, through their journey. And it sounds a little bit like we've gone backwards, but we originally started by just simply supporting the mainly women, the gentlemen and their families. And the program that we have, our wellness program, it's world beating. You'd be hard pushed to find what we offer here in Cayman anywhere else in the world. I mean, I was born in the UK. There's nothing like what we do here. There's lots of smaller charities, but there's not one charity that provides everything. From there, we started our early detection program, which I believe is what we're really well known for, particularly in October. But I'd love all the listeners to remember that breast cancer is not just for October. Mm-hmm. It's all year round. So we provide free mammograms and free ultrasounds to anybody who's resident in the Cayman Islands, as if their insurance is maxed, if they don't have any insurance, or their insurance doesn't cover that. And then we've gone one step. Like I say, it sounds like we're going backwards, but we're going forwards. In now we have a really strong awareness program and education program, because 30% of breast cancer can actually be prevented through lifestyle choices. So we're going out into the community, we're letting people know how to feel their chests, and also lifestyle changes that they can change. And just one thing that we're incredibly, incredibly proud of, when the Breast Cancer Foundation started 16 years ago, 70% of breast cancer wasn't diagnosed until stage 4.
Wow.
At the end of 2024, 70% of the breast cancer was diagnosed at either stage 0 or stage 1.
Oh, that's incredible.
So we've completely turned it on its head, and that's through our early detection program.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the years that you first said, but what's that?
It's 16 years.
16 years. And
yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So from you started around 70% of the cases you found were in stage 4.
Yeah.
And then 16 years later, so up to now.
Yeah. 70%. Like it still makes
or stage 0 or 1.
It's stage 0 or stage 1.
That's incredible to me. I mean, my eyes welled up with tears. I was like, oh, what a thing. You're saving lives. That's an incredible number. That's
1 in 7 women now. So when we started 16 years ago, 1 in 10 women would be diagnosed with breast cancer. As of the start of 2025, 1 in 7 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay. So more women
are being diagnosed, and they're being diagnosed a lot younger as well.
That's an interesting factor as well to me, because it's supposed to be, from what I've
read, old ladies' disease.
Well, hold on. I don't know about old ladies, because I understood that there's predominant numbers of reports come in with women in their 40s. I'm in my 40s. So
so let me tell you that the average age of a woman's diagnosis, which is why I say an old lady's disease, is 64 globally.
Wow.
Globally.
Okay.
Okay. Across the Caribbean, it's 57.
Interesting.
Okay, now that is to do with genetics.
Okay, because I was going to say, what are the contributing factors?
Okay, so the contributing factors are genetics and diabetes and obesity across Afro-Caribbean women.
Okay.
In Cayman last year, at the Breast Cancer Foundation, the average age of the person we helped was 47 years and 10 months.
Wow.
So we are a lot younger now. At the foundation, we would love to be able to say part of that is our early detection program. We are, everywhere and on the radio and asking other people to advocate for us that this is really important, that you know how to do a self-breast examination and that you also know when to get checked. So you need to know what you're looking for and when to get checked, because not knowing you have breast cancer is not the same as not having breast cancer.
So walk us through the steps in self-checking.
Okay, so self-checking it's really simple.
And this is for men and women.
This is for men and women. It's exactly the same for men or women. So you only need to check once a month. It's more frequently than that, especially as a woman, you are going to feel lumps and bumps as changes throughout the month.
Right.
So you choose one date, which is either 5 to 7 days after the end of your menstrual cycle, or choose a date. The global hashtag is Feel It on the First. So the first. And you basically, the most important thing for you to do is take your clothes off and look in the mirror and know your chest. That is by far the most important thing. You need to know what your chest looks like, what's normal for you, because what's normal for you will not be the same as for me, not the same for Miss Susan. We're all different. So it's knowing what your chest looks like.
I would think that if your chest looks irregular to you, that I would assume that you're kind of far along in the disease.
No, because most women, believe it or not, have one bust that's bigger than the other.
Oh yeah.
So what you're looking for is, there's 12 signs. So you're looking for skin thickening, a change in your nipples, fluid coming from your nipples, a sore that doesn't go away, a protruding vein, but all of this has to be new.
Okay.
A bump on the outside, a dimpling, a change to the skin. It looks like orange peel. It will be red and bumpy like an orange peel. And then obviously the 12th one would be a lump that you feel deep inside to your breast.
Okay. So that's what you got to look at yourself in the mirror and
you
got to look for those changes.
So you're going to look for those changes, and then you feel your chest, and then you take 3 fingers and you start at 12 o'clock and you basically do like a caterpillar creep all the way around your bust. Nobody can actually see what I'm showing you at the moment. But
no, we stream live to YouTube and Facebook.
So for everyone on Facebook, you would go all the way round, and then when you get to 12 o'clock, you'd go in slightly and go all the way round again until you get to your nipples. In particular for men, look in and around the nipples, because that's where the lump tends to happen for men. And 34% of all breast cancer is actually in and behind your nipple. And then the next 41% goes up into your armpit, because you have breast tissue in your armpit. So once you've gone round and round, you would go up and down, you would repeat, and then you would actually do the same in your armpit. So you would go into your armpit, round and round, up and down, and then you would repeat on the other side. Takes 2 minutes. If you're heavy busted, we recommend maybe that you lay down on your bed to do it rather than in the shower, simply because your breasts sort of flatten slightly and you get through. You're not stroking, you are feeling, so it should be not uncomfortable, but tender when you do this. But lots of people, men and women, have lumps and bumps in their breasts, and it's getting to know your bust. We have affiliated with a global foundation called Know Your Lemons. And maybe you can put on your website afterwards Know Your Lemons. But basically, we wanted to create our own app. And now I should talk to those people, those AI people. But it's incredibly expensive. So instead, we've affiliated with the Know Your Lemons. And all 5 members of the Breast Cancer Foundation are trained lemonistas. So that's why we can go out there. And we're just basically using statistics. We're using education and science-backed approach on reducing the number of people who are going to be diagnosed with breast cancer at a later stage. Because at the end of the day, early detection saves lives. If you're diagnosed at stage 0 or stage 1, you have more than a 99% survival rate. That's as close to a cure as you're ever going to find.
And you, just to clarify, you also said that the greatest risk factors or contributing risk factors to women in the Caribbean developing breast cancer is being overweight, diabetes, and
lack of exercise, being overweight. It's hormone driven. So
which is in your 40s when a lot of the
exactly. And when you are menopausal, for every pound extra that you weigh, the percentage chance of you getting breast cancer goes up.
But do you know by how much percent?
No, it's like
just the fact that alone,
like a point percentage. So that's why we really advocate for a Mediterranean style diet, high in fruit, high in vegetables, high in fibre, reduced red meat,
which can be so hard culturally when we're so used to a way of delicious
tell me about it.
Here.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you can't change everything, but you can. You can try to maintain your weight, 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week.
Right.
At this time of year, that's got by me by running from one appointment to another. But
lifestyle changes, which we were always told about, which we all know about, and yet we know that's a very important point.
Yeah.
It really has to do with lifestyle changes a lot of the time.
And if we
don't always make those changes.
Exactly. And if the Heart Foundation was sat next to me right now, they would be telling you to make exactly the same changes.
Yep.
That's the STEP report that came out from the Chief Medical Officer.
Yes.
It's exactly, we're not doing anything different. One of the doctors I work with said something once, which I've piggybacked off, which is what's good for the chest is good for the breast. So in other words, what's good for your heart is also good for your breast.
Well, that
so
makes sense to me.
Yeah, exercise, reducing the sugary drinks, and no smoking at all.
Mm-hmm.
There is a direct correlation between smoking and breast cancer, and then reducing your alcohol consumption, because something that we weren't aware of, but the more you drink, it raises the estrogen in your body, and estrogen being raised in your body increases the chance of you getting breast cancer.
So interesting. Okay, so many things to think about. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to dive even further into this talk here with the Breast Cancer Foundation.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With 2 models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormanday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
Why is it important to vaccinate children against HPV? Because research shows that the best time to get the HPV vaccine is between the ages of 9 and 14, and it takes a single dose. The HPV vaccine is the best protection available against HPV-related cancers, which impacts boys and girls, men and women. Let's arm our nation against cancer, Cayman. Get the HPV vaccine today. For more information, contact the Public Health Department on 244-2648 or 244-2889.
Aunt Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we're in almost the last 10 minutes of the show this morning. It's been a great show. Right now we are focused on with the Breast Cancer Foundation. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and in studio with me I have Beverly Edgingtom from the Breast Cancer Foundation. She gave so much great information about the whole background, the impact of the Breast Cancer Foundation in Cayman. We talked a little bit about the services that are going on, but one thing that did stick out to me when you said we have one of the best wellness programs in the world, and you'd love somebody to challenge you on that point. And
please do.
I would love to know what makes the Breast Cancer Foundation's wellness program one of the best in the world.
Okay. It's one of the best in the world, and I mean, I really do stand by that, because we've looked at and developed this program over the years, and we've looked around the world. We've looked at Australia, New Zealand, the UK, and we've taken the best of what there is there and being able to bring it here. And of course, we can't do it without our supporters, because we are completely privately funded. We don't get any government money. So why it's good is we don't just support the patient, we support their family, so their children, their partner and their caregiver as well. From the moment of diagnosis, we're there to act as your advocate. So we will go with you to your appointments. Let's start with that. If English isn't your first language, either a member of staff or a volunteer will go with you, because when you're getting that diagnosis, you don't hear anything and you walk out and your mind is completely blank. But we don't partake in the appointment, we just take notes for you. So let's start there. Then at the point of chemotherapy, if you need to have chemotherapy, all of the hospitals in the Cayman Islands have cold capping machines. They were purchased by the Breast Cancer Foundation, and they are used to prevent or help prevent hair loss. And we have a volunteer team that will actually go in there, and that's available to all cancer patients. Okay, so
I've never even heard of this.
It's
cold capping.
It's called cold capping. So you put a cap on your head, similar to, say, if you've got a really bad migraine, and it freezes the hair follicles so that when the chemotherapy goes in, because it goes to all cells, it doesn't just go to where the tumour is, the hair follicle is frozen at that point, so it helps prevent hair loss. Now, in the rest of the world, they either don't offer it or it's $250 upwards per round. That is completely free of charge in the Cayman Islands, courtesy of the Breast Cancer Foundation and the machines that we've purchased and the volunteers that we provide.
Is this a newer technology?
It keeps getting updated, so we keep buying new machines.
Okay, I mean, I didn't know about it, so
yeah.
I think it's.
So I think it's about.
It's incredible.
It's pre-COVID, so it's about 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of our amazing patients read about it and came to the foundation, and she did all this research, and through her we were, that's how the first machine got bought on island. So there's HSA, Health City and Doctors Hospital all have the machines.
I love that. A little bit of collaborative working. Right
absolutely.
there.
And it's completely free to anybody with any cancer, not just breast cancer. So
wow.
we made sure that it was available for anybody.
Wow. So anybody getting chemotherapy can have this cold cap machine.
Yeah. Now, some chemotherapies, there's one called the Red Devil. There's no point in you doing it because it's so aggressive that even the cold capping isn't going to work.
Okay.
But it is available. You just
Does
have
everybody
to ask.
know the option?
You should do. Your oncologist should explain that to you at the time of giving you.
Okay.
Okay. So then if you're a breast cancer patient, now we provide green juices because your digestive system can be upset. So we'll get green juices delivered to you. We work with Farmer Clarence, so we'll get green vegetables delivered to you and fresh eggs.
How wonderful. That is a great community partnership right there.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And then we have our holistic wellness program. So we'll support you with physiotherapy, mindfulness, Reiki, yoga, art therapy, word therapy, an actual therapist. If you need counselling, then we work with a counsellor who's actually paediatrically trained, so she can also work with your children, because how do you explain to your children that you have cancer?
Right.
How do you explain that mummy's lost her hair? How do you explain that mummy's got no energy and can't pick you up at the moment?
Right.
So we provide that, and also to the partners. We have support groups. Our main one is called the new normal, because you'll never go back to how you were before, but this doesn't need to define you. And then we have the bra room, which is our working name for it, and we would love you to come down and see it, because there are bras, there are prostheses, there are swimsuits, there are bandages for your arms if you have lymphedema. We have wigs, hats, scarves, microblading for your eyebrows if you've lost your eyebrows, because you're living with, you're not dying from, and you want to feel as normal as possible.
Right.
And there is no charge for any of what we provide.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And a prosthesis bra starts at $75. It's not covered by your insurance.
Wow, this is... there's so many great services, and you guys have thought of so many things and able to help support people that are going through, not just the patient themselves, but their family and friends.
Yeah. And just one last thing, we've just introduced, and we are the first people outside the United Kingdom. We are now trained what's called workplace ambassadors, and we are now going into workplaces. And in actual fact, we're going into government, is one of the first places for HR and senior management to know how to work with a member of staff that has cancer, but also for everybody else around them. So, what do you say to somebody when they come back in? Do you say anything? Does somebody stare? And so we're working with all the leading companies on Ireland to create workplace ambassadors. Right. And we're the first ones outside of the UK, which is why I can say it's world beating.
I think that's absolutely incredible as well, because it's just... you're right. A lot of people don't know how to talk to somebody that has cancer or has been sick or anything like that. And most of our listeners know that for about 6 months, DJ Lynn, who's one of Cayman's best DJs ever, has, he was in 6 months in hospital, and like November to end of March-ish of this year. So long time, second lease on life he got. He's back here working. But I can understand that. And, everybody's different. And thankfully, Lynn is so open, and we can talk to him about it. But there's people that are not open. And you don't want to... You don't know how to kind of express any empathy or to even ask innocent kind of questions about it. Or, you might be curious, manner, right?
Which could be, you think you're being really lovely by saying, oh, you're back at work, you must be better. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that person is going to not turn around and say, well, every joint in my body aches and, I vomit because of the chemotherapy. But you know what? I have to be back at work because I've got 3 kids that I've got to pay for.
Right. Yeah.
So it's teaching people empathy.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, we're very, very proud of the fact that we were the first people that have ever been chosen to do this. And it wasn't just a case of us picking up the phone and saying, can we do this? They did a lot of research on the Breast Cancer Foundation. I'm really proud of my team for this.
You should be. I'm just proud of you guys over here. It's absolutely incredible what you're doing. So we have a couple weeks left, maybe about 10 days left in the month of October.
10 days and counting.
Yes. And so there's some activities that are going on. Can you tell us
absolutely
what else is planned for the rest of the month?
So for the rest of the month, if you're part of Lions Club are out in the community, and we're out in the community supporting them. So I think there's Georgetown left, which is the really big one. So you'll see me and my colleague Claire at that one.
What is it?
It's a workshop and an awareness, a big awareness event. So that's what the Lions Club are doing. That's I can't remember the date, 27th, I think. Ourselves, we're out in the community all the time giving these presentations, self-awareness presentations. What I would say to your listeners is, if we haven't come to your company or your church group or your sports group, please reach out to us. Just go on the website. You'll be able to click a button to email us, because we do this all year round. We don't just do it in October. Right. And then we've got our early detection program, which is where we provide mammograms and ultrasounds to anybody who's resident in the Cayman Islands who either has maxed their insurance doesn't cover, or they have no insurance. All that we require is a referral from a medical doctor, because the results have to go back to a medical doctor.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask. What do they need to bring in?
All they need is a referral. Okay. And genuinely, if you're financially in a position that you can't afford to go to a doctor, please come in, because we have doctors in every district that we work with who will see you, and they'll charge us. They won't charge you.
Okay.
And we pay for that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So many incredible things that you guys are doing. I think there's a Dress Down Pink Day this Friday?
That's this Friday. That's
this
the
Friday,
Lions
right.
Club. But again, you'll see the Breast Cancer Foundation there, because we work together.
Them, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So big Dress Down Pink Day is happening this Friday. I know the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens has a lot of different items they're selling in
their shop by the mango tree. Yeah.
Yep. So I love it. And again, it's great to see the collaborations between the different associations work together, get the message out, just to help save people's lives and just help us working all together.
Exactly. I mean, myself and Dave from the Cancer Society, we work so closely together, because at the end of the day, our goal is to change the face of cancer treatment and cancer care in the Cayman Islands.
Yes. It's not going to beat us. We're going to beat it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It was
my
great to have you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having
me. I know there's
me.
so much of a deeper conversation we can go into, but time doesn't allow.
Exactly.
So.
We could do this for 3 hours and still not cover it all.
Thank you so much. I know you gave some great information out there. Everybody, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but as the Breast Cancer Foundation does, they do the awareness all year. And as Bev said, you can bring in her team and they will do presentations to your work, and you can find out how you can better support people who are going through this terrible disease. Thanks for joining me again this morning. Thanks to all the listeners for hanging out with me on The Buzz. I'll be back with you on Thursday.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman, your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
Shaken yet standing firm.